What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TCG Madness. I am back from vacation and it is time to dive into another buy, sell, or hold. This is going to be episode 16 of buy, sell, hold, and we are returning to Disney Lorcana. Now, before we go any further, if you guys can do me the really big favor right now, please hit that like button. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to also hit that notification bell so you guys never miss when I drop a video. Comment down below if you guys agree, disagree, if you guys are also seeing similar trend lines. What kind of trend lines are you seeing in Disney Lorcana, and are you also a Disney Lorcana collector? All great things to comment and talk about down below. Love to hear from some of you guys. Now, we are returning to Disney Lorcana. It's been a while since I've looked at Disney Lorcana, but over the course of, I'd probably say about like 3-4 weeks, I've been really looking at some of the numbers, looking at a lot of trend lines. I have some cards that are trending upwards. I have some cards that are trending down. Those will be divided. That's how I'll be dividing up my video. You'll see cards that are up. We'll see some cards that are down. I'll give you guys my overall prediction at the very end whether or not now I think is a good time to buy, sell, or hold Disney Lorcana. First and foremost, too, Disney Lorcana kind of came right out with a big bang. It was a really big hype, a lot of talking points. That hype has really significantly died down, and really more importantly, what has really died down is the scalpers, which thank God for that one, because when Disney Lorcana first came out, everybody was just scalping this. You couldn't find any of the products outside of your local card store, and they obviously were jacking up their prices. Product was always being sold out and stuff like that. We are starting to see all of that traditionally for all these new card games starting to come down. Dragon Ball Super is on a big downward trend. One Piece is certainly getting there as well. Disney Lorcana is no excuse to that rule as well. And Star Wars Unlimited also seeing a downward trend, which is a great thing. We're seeing card price, but I mean downward trend, guys. I mean, we're seeing prices come back down to earth, which is great. But what are some of those cards that everyday collectors looking for? What are those saying to us? That's pretty much what we're going to look at when we're talking about Disney Lorcana. We're really just going to only pay attention to the enchantment cards. Nothing else, in my opinion, matters, because those are the cards overall that are really highly collectible outside of everything else. The card game is what it is. It's a decent card game at best. Not a card game I generally love to really play. I played it a couple of times. My wife and I, certainly she enjoys it because she loves Disney, but I think she really loves the Disney aspect of it. As far as the card game goes, it's pretty much like a 5 out of 10 for me. It's kind of in that mid card game. It's mediocre at best, but the collectability is still definitely there. So what cards are we going to be taking a look at? Well, like I said, we're going to be looking at a lot of cards, specifically only the Enchanted, and I have some cards that are trending up. So this first category will be cards that are trending upwards. I have about roughly 10 cards for us to look at, and we're going to go through them in order of sets that have dropped. First and foremost, we're going to look at first chapter. Why we're looking at first chapter first? Because this is obviously, it's just that. It's the first chapter that was dropped. This is Stitch Carefree Surfer. You guys can look right down here. And again, I highly recommend you guys do your own research as well. Don't just take my word for it. Go ahead and do your own research. Let me know what you guys are seeing down below in the comment section. What kind of trend lines are you guys seeing? Again, 3 months ago, 255, currently now sitting at 282. It has sold around 282. 4 of them have sold. You guys can see right now we're at a 10% increase. Not bad. The reason why I'm going to look at these cards, you guys can see too, it sold at 280. It's already back down to 250. So we're already seeing that 255 where we were 3 months ago. 6 months ago, if you go back even further, you guys can see this card dramatically has seen quite the dip from 3 months ago. But to me, I'm looking at 3 months at just a short sale, right? We're looking at the short selling. Because again, you see a lot of cards right here, the 270s, the 280s, a lot of cards selling. Now we're seeing more cards, and you're already seeing it right here. The lowest card, 250 plus 99 shipping, which is a good indicator that maybe that little bull market run on them. Also, too, I want to put a little side note here. The reason why we're also looking at these first chapters because the enchantments have changed over the course of Disney Lorcana already. In just a short time, they went from being these kind of like rainbow full arts than just being just generic looking full art cards. And then I'll show you guys some of the very latest sets. The enchantments have dramatically changed over the course of Disney Lorcana. So Stitch is first up on the list. Next up we have right here, we have Tinkerbell, also from the first chapter. You guys can see again, 3 months ago, 259, currently selling at a little over $300, so 303, 306. That's a 17% increase. But again, if you pay attention to just right here, currently lowest listing price is 289.27, so 288 plus 127 shipping, so not bad. So maybe again that market on her run has finally seeing an end. Maybe we're going to start seeing some downward trends. Next up is Maui. Again, if you look right down here, 3 months ago, 184, currently now 274. That is a 48% increase. Also too, there's a second movie coming out with Moana, so I do expect this card to just keep seeing that increase, because again, short little things like this happen, hypes all of a sudden drop, and dramatic things to start making the market go up for no reason. Again, we talked about waifus like in Pokemon, Again, this one, no different. There's a new Moana movie, so I do expect this card to kind of see that upward trend. Again, good news is, though, was selling around that 270, 250 market. You can see right now it's at 245 lowest listing. So again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will continue to drop from there. Who knows? Next up on the list, we have Cinderella. This is from Rise of the Floodborn. This was the second set. You guys can see 3 months ago, selling at 246, currently selling at 268, 8.75% increase, and she is holding steadily there. Again, small increases, which are good signs. Those are all good indicators. For cards that are trending upwards, we're seeing less than 10% increasing on them. That's pretty good. Next up, we also have Robin Hood. This is from Into the Inklings. This was their third set. Again, 3 months ago, 154. Currently now over at that, it was selling at 172. 3 of them have sold in 172. If you take a look at lowest listing currently, it's at 163 plus 99 shipping. So not bad. It's at 164. Not bad. Again, he might also see the end of his run as well. And again, these are the cards that are the most highly collectible in Disney Lorcana. Most people do not play with these cards. I mean, if you put them in your deck, I mean, I personally, I would never play with a card like this in my deck. But these also cards are very, playable as well. So again, it varies between collectability and also cards that are currently meta and very popular at the moment. Being that these cards are, over $100, I would never put a card like that in a deck. Just saying. That's just me talking. Next up, we have more from also Into the Inklings, one of the cutest cards ever. You guys can see difference between set 1 to, like I said, as we get into sets 2s and 3s, right? This was all set 1. Look how dramatically different these rainbow full art enchantment cards look. And then we get to the second set, a little more glitter and sparkle, but then full art by Into the Inklings. And now here we are, morphed Into the Inklings. This card 3 months ago, $100. You guys can see even sold below $100 a couple times, actually quite often. And then it kind of just saw another rise as it kind of currently sold its highest at 153.44. 4 of them sold in November 11th. And you guys can see currently he's holding at 150. What does this mean? It means that either there's not many on the market, so people are just dictating their own prices. They're kind of like raising the price on them a little bit. Or these cards are just becoming more collectible. Who knows what really this means? We'll all find out in the next 3 to 6 months as cards continue to either fluctuate, drop. Eventually the market will settle where it needs to settle. Next up, we have Diablo, Devoted Herald, Ursula's Return. This card, again, 169, and you guys can see did sell below, close to that 150 mark, but then saw a little bit of a rise and now selling over $200. That's a 18.35% increase. And you guys can see, though, currently, though, lowest listing selling is 187. Next up, we don't talk about Bruno. Again, Ursula's Return. You see how, again, dramatically different these quote-unquote enchantment cards are. $80 3 months ago is being sold at, now currently selling around, what, 130. That is a 62% increase, but you can see, again, current lowest listing is 104.98. Does that mean that more people got their hands on these cards? Maybe. That's me. Maybe people are just starting to rip open boxes and cases of these cards, and they're starting to actually pull these cards, and they're starting to sell them. So that's a good news, good sign there. Next up, Sisu Empowered Sibling, also from Ursula's Return. Again, 3 months ago, selling below $100 now, currently selling at 126, 36% increase. Lowest listing is at 118 plus 99 shipping, so it hasn't really dramatically dropped. It's kind of just stayed right where it's at. And the last card we're going to look at is Mufasa, Ruler of Pride Rock. This is from Shimmering Skies, one of their newest sets, and this is now their enchantment cards. These is what the enchanted cards look like. Dramatic difference from set 1 to middle of the pack sets right here to one of their newest sets. To me, this is beautiful. This is what an enchantment card should look like always going forward. Opening up something like this would make me feel like I pulled something. When you look at some of these cards, they just look like full art cards. They look like every other full art card that you can get in every other game. Like even these ones I thought were a little bit better, right? The rainbow shimmering had a little bit of that Disney feel. Even the stamp down here, the logo stamp right here, very different. And then they changed it to this, but the cards still, they look, different now, right? They just look like generic full art cards that you would get in every other card game. But this is much more like it. These are what enchantment cards should look like in Shimmering Skies. This is kind of what they're going for here. I hope going forward they kind of do that. It looks a little bit more Disney-esque, so it has a little bit more of that Disney feel to it. Again, I love the art, love the sky. This is what an enchantment card looks like, and this card too is also seeing quite the increase. 3 months ago, selling at $215, now currently selling at $278. Lowest listing $274.99. Beautiful looking card there. Those are all the cards that I do have. Nothing pretty much dramatic. There was a couple of cards that were in that 60-70% increase, but like What I really want you guys to focus on are these sets 1s and 2s that are below 20%. I highly recommend you guys picking up some of these enchantment cards while you still can from sets 1. I do think these cards at some point down the road, 5-10 years, we'll see a dramatic increase. I'm talking within the $500 to $1,000 range. Right now they're below that. I think at some point in our lifetime we will see these cards dramatically increase, because I do think this old original art right here, this is going to be the OG art of Enchanted Cards. I think this art's going to pretty much dying out. You can see they've already been messing with their enchantment cards, and then going into here, these are the new Enchanted Cards, and they look beautiful as well. Very dramatic artwork difference. These rainbow arts are going to be OGs at some point. They will just basically be looked at as like relics, and I do think they're going to be very, very expensive. Keep an eye on those cards, guys. If they drop, get them while you can. So those are cards that are increasing. Now let's go ahead and flip the page and show you guys 10, 11 cards that are actually trending downward. Okay, now that we showed you cards that were trending upwards, let's show you guys some cards that are trending down. And again, starting in order with chapter 1, this is the Mickey Mouse Artful Rogue. Again, obviously, undoubtedly the most popular character in Disney. If you ever see any kind of Mickey Mouse enchanted card that is on a downward trend, highly recommend picking it up. Highly recommend slabbing it, because again, he is synonymous with Disney. There's just no denying that, right? It's like Pokemon and Pikachu, Pokemon, Charizard, Digimon, and like Greymons, Disney, Mickey Mouse, One Piece, Luffy, Dragon Ball Super, Goku. Like, those are just the staple main home character names that everybody should know, and everybody should just be synonymously tied to each other. So, right, Disney tied to what? Disney. So anytime you see Disney, Mickey Mouse, or anything else like that that are just tied together, those are just the cards that you're just going to want to pick up, because those are the cards you're going to want to get slabbed, because again, everybody knows who Mickey Mouse is. So starting off with Mickey Mouse, 6 months ago, this card trending $141, now trending downward, all the way down to 110. We are at a 21% decrease. If you go back even just 3 months ago too, short sale, again, it was selling around $100. It was currently trending upwards by 9%. But if you just do that little 6-month tab, and you can currently see too, he's at $105 even. So might still see that trend. If you could pick him up anything below, he's never been below $100. So we may very well get close to that. We may very well get very close to him hitting that $90, $95. If he does, pick this card up without a doubt. Next up, we have Aladdin, another very famous and popular Disney character. You can see right now, lowest selling, $95. 6 months ago, this card was $163, now all the way down to about $100, and you can see lowest listing currently is at $95. So that's a 37% decrease already, with the current lowest listing at $95. So pretty good there. Next up, Beast from Rise of the Floodborn. Now we're getting to the different types of enchanted cards, right? So you guys can see current lowest listing, $80.85. 6 months ago, this card was selling at $120. Now currently, lowest listing was $75.85. So again, we are almost right back to that lowest listing. That's a 36% decrease. I do expect this card to drop right back down to that $70-$75 range as well. Next up is Rise of the Floodborn's Snow White. This is also the Well-Wisher enchanted cards. Lowest listing, almost basically $100, right? 6 months ago, this card was selling at almost $200. Now, lowest listing was $122, and you can see again we are below that lowest listing selling according to TCG Player. 37% decrease, with a chance to even go even lower. I do expect this card to continue to drop below the $100 range. I do expect to actually go below $95. I think 90, 94, somewhere in that neighborhood is exactly where it's going to sit. So that's pretty good price for that card. Next up is a card that's beautiful looking. This is Jafar, Striking Illusionist. Just a gorgeous looking card. 87.10 lowest current listing. 6 months ago, $175. Lowest current listing according to TCG Player was $86.68. Already for a 50% decrease, and it's already back down to that lowest listing price again. Again, that means it's probably going to sit around that area as well. So pretty good there. And again, just a gorgeous looking card. That purple is just strikingly beautiful. Next up is, again, Mickey Mouse, another enchanted card. Mickey Mouse Trumpeter. Current lowest listing is $60 for an enchanted card. 6 months ago, this card was over $100, $129. And you guys can see over time, dramatically dropping. Lowest current listing was on November 11th to 17th at $61.25. 52% decrease, and we already are pretty much right at that. And I do expect this card to drop into that $50 range. So again, keep an eye out for that card as well. Next up, Maleficent. I can't say it. I'm not good with names. Sorry. Mistress of All Evil, we'll just say. $69 is current listing. 6 months ago, this card, $126. Now all the way down to $64, 48% decrease. And you guys can see this card did go below 50 bucks in summertime. So keep your eye out for it, because this card may continue to see a drop. Or now might be time to pick it up, because maybe this could be the newest stagnant price and you don't want to take that chance increasing for no reason whatsoever and then just missing out on a chance to get a good enchanted card below $100. Next up was a card that was very popular when this set first dropped. This is Aerial Sonic Warriors from Ursula's Return. Again, 6 months ago, this card was $350. Over 300 bucks, man. Insane. Now, lowest listing, $196, 44% decrease, and you guys can already see current lowest listing on TCG Player is $165. That is a dramatic increase. I do expect this card to hit that 150 and may even go even lower than that. It may even go even lower than that. And if it does, excellent card to pick up. It's a beautiful looking card. Highly recommend it. So keep your eye out on that card as well. Minnie Mouse, right? Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. Let's go with this one. Minnie Mouse Musketeer Champion. Current lowest listing, $65. 3 months ago, this card was over $83, now dramatically dropping to $60. 6 months ago, this card was at $145, and it sold between $100 and $145 for quite a while, too. It wasn't until early July where I started seeing this dramatic dip, and then once we got into October, we're seeing it continuously drop down. 54% decrease. Again, highly recommend keeping your eye out on that card as well. Now, we do have the newest set, one of the newer sets, excuse me, Snow White, Fair-Hearted, Enchanted. Again, see how dramatically different we go from Chapter 1 with that rainbow art, and then the second, third, and fourth set where it's just like, just pretty much looking like full arts, and now this beautiful, glowing, actually Disney, even the artwork just looks so much better. Like, look at the Aladdin here. It doesn't look like Aladdin here. It looks very odd, very, look like they just kind of like taken certain scenes out of movies, just kind of pasted it onto the card, and it didn't really sit well. But these cards right here, man, like you can see again, like that's pretty much a nice drawed card. This one too is also beautifully done. Like whoever is doing the art for these new ones definitely deserves a round of applause. They are beautiful to look at. These cards definitely deserve some love and attention. So, Shimmering Skies, Snow White, current lowest listing $98. 3 months ago, this card was selling at $162. Now all the way down below $100. 38% decrease. I don't think this set's been out for more than 6 months. It has not. So you can see current when the set first dropped, this card was over $200, and now you can see under 100. So a 54% decrease. And then also to Vanellope. This one's also just a really beautiful looking card as well. $66.83 is current lowest listing. 3 months ago, this card was just over $100. Now all the way down just below $70 at $66.75. That's a 34% decrease. So that's all the cards that I have for you guys that are trending upwards and trending downwards. My final recommendation for Disney Lorcana is I think it's still just it's a great time to buy Disney Lorcana. There really hasn't never been a bad time, except for when it first dropped, like all that hype and sets. Once we started seeing product everywhere on Targets and at Walmart, that's when you just knew, right? You knew that all the cards, especially for sealed, was all going to come down. That's exactly what we're still seeing. I still think sealed booster boxes in general are still a little too expensive for my taste, but if you were just looking at the market and just looking at singles to buy, especially Enchanted, which is the ones that the collectors are going to buy, I think now's a good time to buy into them. I've just given you guys a bunch of cards that are slightly trending upwards, but I gave you guys a bunch of cards that are dramatically trending downward. So with that being said, I think now is a good time to buy into Disney Lorcana and start collecting it. These are also these cards right here. Highly recommend all taking a look at. Again, I can't, like step 1, I would really buy up as much as you can of Chapter 1. These other middle of the road chapters, these cards, like I would buy all of these Enchanted if they were below $75. Again, that Mickey Mouse, that $60 Trumpeteer. I mean, again, it's a nice looking art, not great or anything, not like this one. This one's very, you can see it's just very different art styles, and I don't know if that was done on purpose. And I think maybe people weren't feeling these type of cards. Maybe that's why we're seeing cards that are on the downward trend versus what we're seeing now Enchanted cards look like. I mean, look how glowing art that looks. The art looks glowing to me. It's beautiful. And that's just on my screen. I can't imagine what it looks like in person. Again, I'm not the biggest Disney Lorcana fan is. My wife definitely is. Me, not so much. But doesn't mean I can't appreciate good art where it is. And I definitely can tell you there are some cards that if I had the money, I would spend and probably get these cards and slab them up, because I do think these cards are going to be worth a bunch of money. If you have sealed booster boxes, keep them sealed, especially if you have chapter 1. Keep that crap sealed, man. Do not open it, because that'll be like the Pokemon in 10-15 years. Those booster boxes will be worth $500 to $1,000 a piece. It's just what it is. It's Disney. Disney is Disney. It's not going anywhere. It's one of the most popular brands. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think about everything I had to say in this video. If you guys have anything else particular you guys want to share, put all that stuff down below in the comment section. If you made this far in the video, I really do appreciate it. Please hit that like button. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time.